Food prices gradually coming down as bulk purchases slow down. Police burst kidnappers' den, arrest 109 illegal miners in Nasarawa State. Reps pass state police bill for second reading. On the foreign scene, United Nations Food Programs warns of soaring malnutrition in Sudan. Hello again and welcome to the Trust TV News Update. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll begin with the state of the economy as food prices continue to soar across Nigeria. This week, a market survey shows a reduction in the price of grains in major markets in the north. Some factors have been cited as responsible for the drop in prices of food items, among them the decision by multi-billion naira feed companies, the stoppage of interstate movement with food items in some parts of the country, increased surveillance around borders to stem export and clamp down on some people discovered to be hoarding the grains. Reports from Kano State shows that prices of maize, soybeans, beans, and rice had dropped at Doguwa, Tudunwada, and Bunkuru markets and others. Similarly, in Taraba State, prices of maize, millet, sorghum, white beans, soybeans, and dried cassava have come down at Mutumbiu, Garbachede, Mehula, and Iware markets. At Mehula town, a farmer said the price of 100 kilogram bag of maize had dropped from 54,000 naira to 40,000 naira. Soybeans from 40,000 naira to 32,000 naira. Sorghum from 50,000 naira to 41,000 naira. A mudu of locally processed rice from 2,300 naira to 1,700 naira. And white beans dropped from 2,100 naira to 1,600 naira. In Kwara State, a farmer and former chairperson of the Kwara Rural Farmers, Bosse Anifawoshe, says that a 50 kilogram bag of maize, which she sold above 65,000 naira in January, was sold for 40,000 naira at Ajase Market just yesterday. In Niger State, especially in Bida, our correspondent observed a reduction in the price of 50 kilogram bag of maize from 52,000 naira to 48,000 naira and guinea corn from 48,000 naira to 39,000 naira. Residents of the state said the reduction in prices was due to the decision of the government to ban bulk buying of grains from markets. However, prices of fertilizers have skyrocketed at markets in the state ahead of the coming rainy season forming. Meanwhile, 50 trucks conveying foodstuffs out of the country to Niger Republic were intercepted on Monday by the Zamfara State Transport Agency. The agency, which was enforcing a presidential directive meant to arrest the food crisis and hoarding, grounded the trucks loaded with assorted grains. Confirming the interception of the 50 trucks in Zamfara, Sheikh Husani, sources in Zurmi town in Zurmi local government area, say that on Monday that the vehicles were stopped at Gidanjaja village, close to the Nigerian borders with Niger Republic. On Sunday, the Nigeria Customs Service said it stopped 15 trailers conveying foodstuff through the Sokoto borders to Niger Republic. And now to security matters. The Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested no fewer than 109 suspected illegal miners operating in the Nasarawa Egon local government area of the state. Speaking while parading the suspects at the Police Area Command in Lafia on Tuesday, the State Commissioner of Police, Umar Nadada, said the suspects were arrested following efforts by officers of the anti-kidnapping unit of the command, in collaboration with the vigilante group of Nasarawa Egon local government area. He explained that the operation commenced from Mada Station to Wakama community around the Alugani mountain stretch, which kidnappers use as a hideout to keep their victims until ransom is paid. Nadada further noted that the 109 suspects were arrested at different locations on the mountain, carrying out illegal mining of solid minerals such as topaz, tin, and aquamarine. He added that a Dane gun, cutlasses, and knives illegally mined solid minerals, among other items, were recovered from the suspects as an exhibit. Meanwhile, the Nasarawa State Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Yakubu Kwanta, while commending the police for arresting the suspected miners, pardoned them on behalf of the state government and vowed to ensure their arrest and prosecution if they continue the illegal act. The police in Kaduna State have arrested 4 suspects for alleged armed robbery in the state. The spokesman of the command, ASP Mansur Hassan, said in Kaduna on Tuesday that the suspects allegedly terrorized some communities. He said the suspects allegedly robbed innocent citizens of their motorcycles and other valuables along Ado Gwarun in Mahuta community in Igabi local government area of the state. The spokesman listed the suspects as including Bashir Kabir, Suraka Usman, Ibrahim Abubakar, and Buhari Abdullahi. Hassan said the police recovered 5 vehicle number plates, spare parts, and new SIM cards from the suspects. A couple of hours after gunmen stormed a village market in Achala in Oka North local government area of Anambra State to enforce the monthly sit-at-home order, security operatives have smashed an armory located at camp of the gunmen. Security operatives also recovered 5 vehicles believed to have been snatched by the suspected gunmen during their operations. The police public relations officer, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, explained that the gunmen escaped with bullet wounds when officers and men of the Joint Task Force stormed their hideout. According to the statement signed by the police image maker, the security operatives acted on classified information about their hideouts in the camp. The Nigerian Air Force says its troops deployed at Durbunde in Takai local government area of Kano State have arrested a 35-year-old high-profile kidnapper, Isa Abdul. A statement by the NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, said Abdul was arrested on Monday at about 6:30 p.m. in a well-coordinated operation following credible intelligence on the hideout of the notorious kidnapper and his boys. He said Isa Abdul and his cohorts had been responsible for several kidnap incidences in the area. The NAF spokesman added that suspect is currently in the custody of the Nigerian Air Force undergoing interrogation, adding that he will soon be handed over to the appropriate authorities for further actions. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has passed the bill seeking the creation of state police for second reading. The bill, titled A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, to provide for establishment of state police and for related matters, as sponsored by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Okezie Kalu, and 14 others. It was passed for second reading at plenary on Tuesday after intense debate for and against the bill. In his lead debate, one of the co-sponsors, Tolani Shagaya, said the bill was sponsored as a necessary response to several calls for a decentralized and community-oriented approach to law enforcement. He said the bill seeks to navigate the complex landscape of security challenges by empowering states with the means to address issues unique to their localities. Shagaya noted that the proposed alteration represents not just a legal adjustment to the nation's legal system, but a visionary leap towards a safer, more secure, and harmonious Nigeria. The Senate Committee on Finance on Monday kicked against the loss of 17 trillion naira to tax waivers in the last 5 years. The committee also pushed for the Federal Inland Revenue Service to aim for a tax revenue goal of 30 trillion naira in 2024. The committee made this known when the FIRS chairman, Zak Adedeji, led a team from the agency to an interactive session with the Senate Committee on Finance over the 2024 operational budget of the service. At the 2024 operational budget defense session of the service, the chairman of the committee, Sani Musa, noted that the nation has lost over 17 trillion naira in 5 years owing to tax waivers. On his part, Adedeji promised that the nation's tax laws would be altered in the next few weeks to accommodate the new exigencies of the current times. He spoke against the backdrop of calls by the Finance Committee to completely re-engineer the tax administration in the country, largely because of the volatility of the foreign exchange rate. Saddled with the projected tax collection of 19 trillion naira, up from 12 trillion naira, the FIR's boss unraveled plans by the service to deepen collection without augmenting taxes. Some federal civil servants on Tuesday said the federal government has started the payments of the November 2023 wage award. Another senior civil servant in one of the federal government-owned schools outside Abuja also confirmed the development, saying the November 2023 wage award has been paid. The payment of wage awards to Nigerian workers was one of the deals agreed upon by the organized labor and the federal government as one of the ways to mitigate the effect of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol. According to reports by the Corporate Affairs Commission, over 40 million businesses, in Nigeria are unregistered. This staggering figure becomes even more puzzling when considering that for every registered business, there are approximately 7 unregistered ones. Consequently, the Corporate Affairs Commission aims to implement stringent measures to address this issue. These plans were revealed during the Commission's one-day leadership retreat for heads of departments, heads of units, and state officers' heads, where they unveiled the Commission's blueprint for the year.
I have some instructions directed to the heads of state offices that we must go back and generate the data of businesses taking place in the state. We will not condone any businesses taking place all over Nigeria without registration. So it's a marching order given to the heads of the state offices of the Corporate Affairs Commission and my management. We have been given a target of funds over 120 billion for a year. So we are working towards that. We're turning down the activities. There is a paradigm shift in the Corporate Affairs Commission now. We are working towards providing quality service to our customer. That is the most important thing. And secondly, my aim or my vision to ensure that CAC becomes the best place to work in Nigeria. No. The goal of Mr. President is to create job for 50 million youths. And on our partner CAC, we are working towards so that we will be on the same page with the President to achieve that same goals. On our part, this year alone, we are able to encourage small businesses, more than 2.5 million so far registered with the CAC this year alone, in line with Mr. President's agenda.
This is to unveil the Registrar General's blueprint and way forward for the year, so that everybody will be carried along, everybody will know their performance, their target for the year, and means of achieving such targets. That's the main focus for this morning, and then to ensure that we are carried along with the enforcement program of the Registrar General for the year.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at surge in price of cooking gas as it compels households to revert to traditional cooking methods. We'll bring you more news after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. But if you're just joining us, this is a news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. You heard that food prices gradually coming down as bulk purchases slow down. And police bust kidnappers den arrest 109 illegal miners in Nasarawa State. And now to more stories. A driver and 4 passengers traveling from Zuba to Area 1 on Tuesday escaped death when the car conveying them somersaulted 3 times after one of the tires burst along Banex Road in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Mazda car with registration number SUL 819M0MO, was said to have conveyed 3 passengers and 30 motor batteries. Reports say the survivors who sustained various degrees of injuries were rushed to a nearby hospital for medical attention. One of the survivors, Gabriel Anakobe, said he boarded the car from Zuba to Banex, not knowing that the driver of the car had loaded it with used motor batteries. He blamed the incident on overloading. A significant surge in the price of cooking gas is compelling households to revert to traditional cooking methods, utilizing firewood and charcoal. Families seek alternatives to the modern convenience of gas. The cost of a kilogram of cooking gas has escalated to 1,400 naira, while a bag of charcoal now sells for 8,000 naira in Lagos, southwest Nigeria. Victoria Tokolo visited Agege area of the state, and she brings us more in this report.
Firewood and charcoal, traditionally used in rural areas across Nigeria, are now emerging as alternatives to cooking gas in urban centers. This shift is attributed to the soaring cost of kerosene, liquefied petroleum gas (LPG), and electricity, with cooking gas prices reaching an all-time high of 1,400 naira per kilogram, while kerosene is being sold for 1,250 naira per liter in Lagos State. This has compelled some residents and restaurant operators to revert to the traditional methods of using firewood and charcoal. Charcoal traders here shared their insights on how the economic hardship has affected the price of charcoal, reflecting broader trends of everyday life and business operations in the region.
Before, charcoal is 3,500, they sell am 4,000, 4,500. But now it's 7. At the back at 7,000, 7,200. Now we dey sell am 8,000 naira. Before, the smallest one before 100 naira. Now no 100 naira charcoal again.
Before they are selling it 3,000, 4,000. But now everything don cost is 8,000 naira now. Because they are buying it inside motor, inside bush now 7,200.
Something like a 4-5 last, but now it's too cost. Everything is too cost. From farm is too cost. Now, see the market, no gain because they don't sell everything.
Many households now find themselves with limited options as they lament the exorbitant prices of gas compared to the affordability of firewood and charcoal.
I prefer this firewood pass gas because like now, gas, person no fit buy gas. 1 liter of gas it costs about 1,400 naira, and then we cannot use them make only 2 deliver for fish, myself or anything. So like firewood now, if you buy like 1,000 or something, 3,500, but just of sudden it just go up to 7,500. And presently, like last week, I was informed that it's going to be 8,000 naira. And now a kilo of gas is 1,400. So for now, I prefer that charcoal. I always use gas, but now I want to go to charcoal because the price of charcoal then now pass gas.
Drink gas 12 kg. You fill it 1 2 per kg, so it is 15,000 for 12 kg. And 20 kg is 24,000 naira, and you use it every day.
In light of the significant price disparity between firewood, charcoal and modern cooking fuels such as kerosene, liquefied petroleum gas (LPG), and electricity, many households, particularly in Lagos State, are increasingly opting for firewoods and charcoal as their preferred alternatives.
As part of efforts to ensure ease of movement by all travelers patronizing the nation's airports, The federal government has announced plans to commission electronic gates at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and some selected airports in the country next month. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who disclosed this in Abuja shortly after inspecting some facilities at the airport, said the scanning of passengers' passports will be done with ease with the installation of electronic gates in the nation's airports. The minister also inspected the Command and Control Center at the headquarters of the Nigeria Immigration Service and assured Nigerians that the completion of the center will improve the security situation in the country. Tunji-Ojo said the more the e-gates, the easier for passengers into the nation through the airports. And now away from Nigeria, the United Nations World Food Programme warned Monday that the 10-month-long war in Sudan has meant malnutrition is soaring across the region and is creating the world's largest displacement crisis. At least 25 million people are struggling with soaring rates of hunger and malnutrition as the crisis in Sudan sends shockwaves around the region, the body alerted. The WFP also deplored a lack of resources to try to address the humanitarian crisis. Thousands of families are being displaced and forced across borders into Chad and South Sudan each week, said Annabelle Simonton, a spokesperson for the WFP. Some 1.8 million people fleeing the war mainly have found refuge in neighboring Chad and South Sudan, but these grapple with their own fragilities. In South Sudan, families fleeing Sudan now make up 35% of those facing catastrophic levels of hunger, despite only accounting for 30% of the population. Malnutrition rates are increasing rapidly among children who are languishing in temporary transit camps, like the camp in Renk.
At the moment, unfortunately, we don't have the funds and we don't have the access to be reaching people at the need, at the scale that is required right now. In both these countries, the rainy season is coming soon, and with that, it's going to get even harder to reach people. We need to be pre-positioning assistance right now to make sure that we can sustain a response. We're unable to do that. And on top of that, these countries, Chad, South Sudan, they're dealing with their own hunger crises. So this is really crisis building on crisis.
Finally, in sports news and in football, Paris Saint-Germain striker Kylian Mbappe has agreed to join Real Madrid this summer. The France captain, 25, has told PSG he intends to leave the club with his contract expiring in June. Mbappe has not signed a contract with Real Madrid yet, but the deal could be announced once it is no longer possible for the clubs to meet in this season's Champions League. The World Cup winner is PSG's record goal scorer with 244 goals. Mbappe wanted his future sorted before March, so on 13 February, before training, he met PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi and told him he was leaving and joining Real Madrid. After reports emerged last Thursday that he would leave, Mbappe was left out of the starting lineup for Saturday's match against Nantes, but came off the bench to score a penalty as PSG went 14 points clear at the top of League One. He is set to sign a 5-year deal with Real Madrid, earning 15 million euros a season, plus a 150 million euro signing on bonus to be paid over 5 years, and he will keep a percentage of his image rights. With that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching.